everybody, and welcome back to the Reds Relay Podcast. It's been a while, but we're back in the studio, and we got lots to talk about. Alongside me always is Matt Fry.
Hello.
And Jake is behind our camera.
Hello.
The fellows are back. It's good to be back. It's been a little bit of a hiatus for us. It's been really busy. We've had a lot of things going on. And then, with baseball ramping back up, the baseball season, we've been making a lot of content on Instagram as well. So make sure you go check all of that out. We're going to have an opening day video or a little reel coming out very soon. If you
kind of shifted our content more towards growing our other pages other than our YouTube, since we spent a lot of time on this last year. And when we first started it up, we were mainly on the YouTube. So now that we got all those platforms coming together, we have more time to work on the YouTube finally.
So let us know if you're liking that content. There's going to be more coming out soon. Obviously, our last podcast we did an interview with Cam Collier, which was great. It was great to have Cam on. Really enjoyed talking to him a little bit. Obviously, with his injury news, it kind of stinks for him. But it was nice to have him on, and it's good to be back. We got a lot to talk about. It's kind of been an up and down start to this season, more so down than up. Last couple of days have been pretty good, but we got a lot to talk about today. We got some player news to talk about. We got this pitching staff to talk about, which has been so good. Also, a little bit about Terry Francona, some of his decisions. What does that look like? And then we're going to end the episode with baseball reference because I was itching to do some, and it's been a while. So I think we're just going to go ahead and kind of jump in. Obviously, the season hasn't really gotten off to the start we want. Obviously, the offense has not really been there. A lot of that is due to some of the injury bug that they've dealt with right now. McLean on the 10-day IL, retroactive of April 5th. So he should be back sometime next week.
Yeah, and even before the season started, we got hit with the Tyler Stevenson, and we've been hearing some news on him, and he's going to be out longer than we would have thought. And with Hayes being out at the beginning of the year, kind of hurts us.
So you're missing 3 right-handed hitters. And the Reds have seen good pitching. I mean, they've seen Logan Webb twice. They're going to see Verlander again today. That'll be the second time they've seen him.
If you look at their first 2 series, they played the Rangers and the Giants, and they both had a record of, I think, 7-2 after we were done with them. So playing some really, really good teams to start the year off.
Yeah, good competition. They saw Nathan Eovaldi, Jack Leiter. They roughed up Kumar Rocker, but I mean they've really seen a lot of really good pitching. Milwaukee, I think, was really the only series that they did not perform to the standards I think they can because the pitching that they were seeing was not great. I mean, they saw a couple of guys that only had a few career starts. Chad Patrick threw against them and, completely dominated some. So it's been obviously a very frustrating start, but I think it's a time to kind of sit back and go, look at how early the season is. It's not a time to start panicking. They have a lot of new faces, and they're trying to kind of mix together this lineup. Terry Francona's trying to kind of figure out what he has to work with without Austin Hayes, without Stevenson, no McLean again. And last night we got the news that they called up Benson and Marte, which hopefully Benson's in the lineup today. Hopefully those guys can really make an impact. I'd like to see Noel Marte play a little third base because I'm really getting sick and tired of Jeimer Candelario. I know you are too.
Yeah. Since last year.
It's been a really rough start for him after opening day where he came out and really swung it well against Logan Webb. But it's been a really slow start for Candelario. And we'll get into that offensive stuff later. And then they optioned Spires to AAA. So I would assume that means we see Andrew Abbott this weekend.
Yeah, which is kind of a good problem to have because Spires was really, really good in his I think he's gotten 2 starts.
His first start was really great.
His first start was really good.
Second one was not so hot.
No, but if he's a 5th guy in your rotation, then you got a pretty solid rotation already. And to send him down, and we got Abbott making rehab starts, and then we have Lauder also making rehab starts. I don't know if he started yet, but you got him waiting to get caught up too. So just a good problem to have with the rotation with so many guys.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about the depth too as we go into the mid part of this episode. But yeah, and then I almost said Edwin Diaz. Alexis Diaz is in the minor leagues, kind of getting roughed up a little bit. I don't know when we're going to see Alexis Diaz. That's going to be interesting to see because the bullpen's been really good, which, like I keep saying, we'll get into here in a moment. But kind of a little concerned with how his outings are going. He pitched again yesterday and threw an inning, and I mean he's around the strike zone, but the velocity's still kind of down. He's getting hit hard. You just don't really have the same swing and miss stuff from Alexis right now. I don't know if it's a health problem or if it's more of he's just not ready. So that's a little concerning. Obviously, not having your closer that had almost 30 saves last year, and obviously a really good season the year before. But right now, the bullpen's been great. And I think this team getting healthy is, like I've said in the offseason, I said all of last year, is health, 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 health. This team has got to stay on the field. Matt McClain has got to stay on the field. You cannot have another season where he's not playing. This team's just not going to be very good without him. Because they are a good team and they have good depth, but you need your stars to be in the lineup if you want to win a division, if you want to compete with good pitching. You have to have your stars in the lineup. And especially when some of the guys that are meant to contribute are not contributing. Guys like Candelario. CES has kind of had a weird year. He's hitting the ball hard, but he's not really producing. Steer is finally starting to kind of come around a little bit. But the pitching staff, I mean, let's just roll into this pitching staff, though. This pitching staff has been so dynamite to start the year. Look at the numbers. I mean, the top three guys in the rotation right now, Hunter Green, obviously. I mean, he's on his way to winning a Cy Young very shortly. Nick Lodolo and Brady Singer has been really great. I'm not concerned at all with this pitching staff. This pitching staff has a chance to really take them somewhere, even if the offense is subpar. I think that when you have a guy like Hunter Green, who is a bona fide ace, I mean, this dude's an ace. Like he rolls out of bed and can strike out 10 guys and go 6 innings. I mean, he has ace stuff, and you're really starting to see him blossom into a really good strike thrower. He has his command. I mean, his command the other night was unbelievable.
Yeah, you can tell he's made some moves in the offseason, I'd say, that have helped his game so much. And he kind of struggled in spring training, but I think it's because he was working on some of those stuff, like a splitter. Where was that last year? He kind of started working on it last year, but like last night
really
or the night before, he went 8.2 innings. The splitter was nasty,
Mm-hmm.
and he just looks completely different out there. He like physically looks different.
Looks better.
I watched. I heard Jim Day say that and noticed it too. So whatever he's been doing in the offseason has been really working well, and putting him into early Cy Young conversations.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's got a 1.31 ERA, 10th in all of baseball, 23 strikeouts, 5th in all of baseball. He's only walked 3 batters, which is really encouraging to see. I mean, just
that is not the Hunter Green we have saw
right
coming up out of the system.
He didn't enter a 3-ball count until in not the whole season, but in his last start against San Francisco on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday or No, Monday. Today's
2 days
Wednesday.
ago.
Yes. Monday night, he did not enter a 3-ball count until the 9th inning. And that was when Jung Ho Lee singled, and I believe who was on deck, somebody walked.
I think it was Chapman, I want to say.
Chapman walked, and Francona had to pull him out, and we put Santi on, and he shut the door. But yeah, Hunter Green really right now to me is the best pitcher in the National League, and it's like he's been spectacular. And then Nick Lodolo, there was some concerns early in the year with him not getting a lot of swing and miss. Or I say early in the year, it's early in the year. He's only made 3 starts, but his first start he only had 1 strikeout, and he's still low on the strikeouts. He only has 8 on the year, but
he's never been really a strikeout guy, I'd say, either.
To me, it's just his overall command has been so good. I mean, he didn't even look that great last night, and he went 6 innings shutout baseball. It helps when you're pitching in San Francisco because the ballpark's huge.
I heard Terry Francona after the game say that they said like what stood out about his performance, and he said the fact that there was 1 or 2 guys almost every inning getting on base, and he just managed to get through it, getting ground balls, double plays, and getting out of the innings.
Yeah, and that's really encouraging. I know we talked about the walks with Hunter Green. The difference with Nick Lodolo, and really you could make the argument the entire staff is this way, but their ability to get out of jams when they do walk guys, when they give up base hits, because that's something they've struggled with in the past. They've had a lot of instances where innings kind of get away from them, and all of a sudden it's a 3 spot in the 3rd inning or a 3 spot in the 4th inning because they're walking the leadoff hitter and then there's a double in the gap, and then they kind of just struggle to get that ground ball double play. But so far, it's been a completely new pitching staff this year. I mean, really haven't seen a lot of – they really haven't had to go to work a lot. It's just kind of been free and easy on the mound, throwing strikes, low pitch counts. I mean, Hunter Green was 2 pitches away from throwing a Maddox the other night. He was going to be less than 100 pitches. I think he started to kind of overthrow in the 9th inning a little bit, but, I mean –
Still throwing 100 miles per hour in the ninth
They
inning.
look healthy. Lodolo looks great. I mean, even yeah, like I said, last night didn't look super sharp. Like the first inning, he was kind of all over the place. I think he threw more balls than strikes, but just found a way to get outs. And then Brady Singer. Brady Singer's first outing, obviously, kind of historic in a way. He was the first Red to make his debut and go 7 innings, or sorry, second Red. Tom Seaver was the other one to go 7 innings shutout baseball in his Reds debut. And like Milwaukee kind of got hit a little bit more, but he still controlled the baseball game. Went 5 innings, 3 earned runs. I mean, you'll take that out of your fourth starter. And and they're getting what they can out of Carson Spires. We have Andrew Abbott on the way. You have Rhett Lauder on the way.
Nick
You have,
Martinez is going to start cleaning it
and
up a little
and
bit.
Nick Martinez is kind of the only guy that's been a little rough, but he's still giving them quality
Yeah,
outings.
I mean, he's given up. I think it's because maybe in my eyes that he's given up like more home runs than the rest, which he's given up more runs, but like he's throwing really good, and I think he's gonna settle down and be really
Yeah,
good for us.
Martinez is going to be fine. He's a veteran starter on the staff. He's
Yeah, there's
yeah,
a reason we paid him all that money.
yeah, I agree, and I do think the like you said, the home run ball is kind of stinging him right now because the rest of the staff really hasn't gotten bit by it. I don't even know.
I think Hunter Green let up one
He let
opening
up one on
day.
opening
I
day,
don't know
and everybody else
Singer,
has been
but
kind of off the board.
yeah, like
So
those are fine. You're gonna give up home runs, and
yeah,
he's gonna be all
and
right.
they have more on the way. I mean, like I said, Rhett Lauder, he's on his way. Andrew Abbott, we've seen obviously the last couple of years. They have a guy like Chase Petty down there who could make some noise this year. We don't know. Chase
Mm, I was
Burns.
about to say a lot way
They
on down the road, Chase
I
Burns,
mean,
but
they've got some dudes down there that can really throw it, and it's exciting to see this pitching staff really start to take that step because you're at a point now where Nick Lodolo in his fourth season needs to make that extra step. I think there's more pressure with him than there is Hunter Green, in my opinion, just because he's a little bit older, coming out of college. He pitched in college. I think the window is shorter for Nick Lodolo, and Hunter's already kind of proven that he can do it. We're still, as of right now, Lodolo is starting to really show that he can be an elite starting pitcher, but we kind of have been waiting on that from him a little bit. And
he
the health
needs to
thing,
stay healthy. Yeah.
yeah, and the health thing's huge with him. This blister bug that kind of got him last year. You know, how is he going to respond to that this year? They kind of make it sound like it went away. I don't know if that's really the case, but we'll have to just wait and see when he's through his 10th start of the year where he's at physically. But yeah, the pitching's been dynamite. The bullpen's been great too. I mean, let's look at this bullpen. I mean, other than a couple guys, Sam Maul has not been good. Scott Barlow's numbers I think are not great, but I really like the way he's throwing the ball out of the bullpen. But these three guys right here, these back end guys, Graham, making his debut in the bullpen, Tony Santillan, who I was really excited for before the season, has looked great. Emilio Pagan looks like a completely different pitcher this year. I mean, he is dynamite right now at the pen, and they're kind of using Santillan and Pagan as their kind of 1A and 1B closers right now. So you're really getting a lot of good production from the bullpen. The pitching overall has been great. They have the third best ERA in baseball at a 2.83, and that's all of baseball, not just the National League. So when you're not hitting, something's got to win you baseball games, and right now it's been the pitching staff. They've been dynamite, and they're facing some good teams. You face Texas, who's got a really good lineup. They face the Giants twice, which can sometimes alter your results, when you see them quickly back-to-back like that. And the Brewers still have a decent offense. I know they're not hitting right now. Like William Contreras is not hitting very well. Yelich isn't hitting very well, but they, for the most part, kind of shut them down, and it's been really, really fun to watch. So
Yeah, it also helps a lot when your three starters this week have been not this week, sorry, but like three of your starters are going consistently 7 innings into a game, and you don't have to use all of your pen. You can use those guys up there who have been lights out of the pen, and you can save a Scott Barlow for maybe like a 4 inning like guy gets in trouble, throw Scott Barlow in there. Like some of those guys, Scott Barlow, Brent Suter, Rogers has been good, but these guys have been like the high leverage 7, 8, and 9 inning guys that have been really great to have. And thankfully, Hunter Green can hand it over to the 7th inning. Nick Lodolo did it last night. And
yeah.
it's really great to have those starters to hand it off to these
Yeah,
guys.
and I completely agree with that. I think when you can lessen the usage of your bullpen, it's only going to make them better. Obviously, you don't want to not have Tony Santillan on a mound for a week, but when you can have consistently guys go 5+ every night, 6+ every night, and save that bullpen. Especially the Reds don't have a ton of off days coming up. They're off on Thursday, but after that, I was looking at the other day. They don't really have a lot of Thursday off days this year, like they did last year. So being able to get length out of your starters is huge. And so far, they've done that. It's very early into the season, but I think that this pitching staff can continue to be well, especially with reinforcements on the way in the minor leagues. You got a guy like Luis May who really opened some eyes in spring training. Another guy, Zach Maxwell, Big Sugar. He opened a lot of eyes down there. So they've got some dudes, and it'll be interesting to see. I think the only thing right now that they're kind of missing is that, like I said it last year too, is like that flamethrower, like left-handed reliever.
Yeah, I was thinking that too when you said Luis May, Maxwell coming up. Like, oh, these guys are right-handed, and those other two are right-handed. But
Yeah, because if Sam
everyone's
Maul's
what
not
you
pitching
got.
well, you're really struggling. And I like Brent Suter, but he's not a high leverage guy. You can't trust him to get high leverage outs against really good hitters. Same thing.
Rogers is
Rogers
in late point in his career.
Rogers is interesting because we talked a little bit about him just off camera, but like there were some question marks with him going into the season that I was not completely aware of, but apparently other people were, that he is not a big high leverage guy. I guess the Giants were willing to get rid of him, even though his numbers were really good, because of his inability to pitch in high leverage. So that's kind of concerning. And he hasn't really been on the mound much. He got hot the other night when Hunter Green was on the mound, but they kind of are waiting for opportunities to use Rogers. I feel like they don't really know where his role is going to be right now because he is a little bit later into his career. So we'll have to wait and see what they do with him. He's been good when he has pitched, but obviously not having the Sam Maul that we had at the beginning of the year last year is really starting to, it could become a concern. And that's where a guy like, one of these left-handed pitchers, I don't want to start throwing names out there, but a guy like Abbott, like it's like if Rhett Lauder's ready to go, do we put Andrew Abbott in the bullpen? Do we put the way Lodola's pitching? You're not going to put him in the bullpen, obviously, but
Another guy we forget about is Brandon Williamson. He's done all year, but
yeah,
he could have been a good left-handed.
That's a big loss. So we'll see what they do with the bullpen. I think there are some moves to be made in the coming months, and then obviously down the road things will change. This will probably not be the same bullpen that you see on September 30th or hopefully in October, as far as just the personnel that's down there. But for the guys that are down there, it's been really great. So the pitching's been awesome. The offense has not. They have not hit. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Obviously, they get shut out 3 games in a row, 1-0, right? Was it 3? It was 3, right? It wasn't 2. Yeah, it was 3. They tied, I think, an all-time record for innings without a run. They almost got no hit in that 3rd game. A 210 batting average, only 42 runs. If you compare that to a team that's really hitting right now, the Cubs, that's half of the amount of runs. Less than half, actually. The Cubs have scored 94 runs, and the Reds have only scored 42. So if you look at the win-to-loss ratio, even though the pitching's been so dynamite, you're not going to win a lot of games batting 210 as a team. 100 strikeouts, only 26 walks, last in all of baseball. That's really concerning. And only 6 stolen bases, too, which is near the bottom as well. And this is a team that, if they're going to win baseball games, they're going to do it on the base paths. They don't have a ton of guys in that lineup that are going to hit the ball at the ballpark, especially if they're not healthy. They have the ability to, but they're not going to come out and hit 250 home runs as a team. They're just not going to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of like the only part of the David Bell era that I kind of miss watching.
And I think they'll get back to that. I think Francona is just trying to figure out, how to run the offense a little bit right now. And it's hard too when you're scuffling, because base runners are hard to come by. So you're not going to want to just get guys on and start running all over the place. And they face some good guys behind the plate. I mean, Pat Bailey shuts the running game down, period. He does. Pat Bailey shuts the running game down, and they've seen him now for 5 games. So, I mean, that's kind of I don't think the stolen bases are as big of a concern as the walks. The walks are really concerning because Ellie's not walking like he was. Guys like Candelario aren't walking. Friedel's not walking. Really, the whole lineup isn't walking much at all. I think Steer might be leading the team, which is kind of crazy to think because he I mean, he was batting under 100 there for a while. So that's the biggest concern for me is the walk total, because when you're not hitting and you're not getting on base, like you're just not going to score runs. It's that simple. I think they're going to figure it out. I think a lot of people are getting really too worked up about the offense right now. I think it's hard early in the year when you've got some new guys and you're trying to move their lineup around to figure out what works. I mean, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter getting upset about Spencer Steer, but it's like, I mean, that guy played 3 spring training games.
Yeah, we also knew coming into the season that he kind of was. He probably forced himself to play, knowing that Hayes was going to be out and Stevenson was going to be out. And we don't have a
Right.
righty run producer in the lineup.
Yeah, if Hayes is healthy and playing right now, Spencer Steer would not have an at bat yet. So I think it's unfair to start going at a guy like that who's clearly been one of their better hitters the last couple of years, most consistent. So he's going to be fine. He's starting to heat up a little bit. But right now, their best hitter is Jose Trevino. That guy has played awesome. I'm a huge fan of Trevi so far. He's played great defense. He's really helped the pitching staff. You can see the difference with him back there. Obviously, Stevenson's going to be their everyday catcher, but Trevino has done a fantastic job. He's hitting. I mean, he hit a home run already. I didn't think that was going to happen. He's put together good at bats. Really been impressed with him. Steer's heating up, like I said. Friedel's kind of here and there, but he's probably one of their more consistent guys in the lineup, going back to the leadoff spot. So he's been, kind of hitting the ball all around the ballpark a little bit. Ellie's kind of scuffling again. But again, I mean, this offense is going to be fine. You get these guys healthy, get McLean back in there, get Austin Hayes. So I think Austin Hayes is their X factor in the offense. I really do. I think him and Christian Encarnacion Strand are their 2 biggest X factors in that lineup. Strand's been hitting the ball really hard, just hasn't really been able to find the holes yet. But I think him and Hayes are the 2 X factors in my opinion, because Ellie's going to be Ellie. If McLean's healthy, he's going to be fine. We've seen him already hit the ball at the ballpark. The power's still there. I think when Stevenson comes back, he'll be fine. But we talked last night. One of my buddies last night, we talked. Do you think the way they're hitting right now, if Stevenson comes back and Trevino's still hitting at like a decent clip, he's not going to bat 310, but if he's a competitive at bat and he's still playing defense like we know he can, I don't see why they wouldn't DH Stevenson and let Trevino and keep Austin Wynns on the team and just carry 3 catchers.
Yeah, Wins has been another underrated bat in the lineup. He's gotten some hits and played really well, and it also would help prevent Stevenson from getting hurt further if Jose Trevino can keep it up. Because Jose Trevino is already playing better than I thought he would have. Like,
Right.
what's he about 300 something? I would have taken 180 with lights out defense behind the plate.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that'd be
I think that's an option. I think that's a real option, just because with the way the offensive hit is hitting right now. And I think this is really a chance for Noelvi Marte to really make a splash. He hit really well in AAA. Same thing with Benson, but we've kind of seen it from Benson. I mean, Candelario looks lost. This guy looks lost at the plate. I mean, it is, opening day, couple of hits. I thought, okay, are we going to get another run producer in that 4 or 5 hole in the lineup, without Stevenson and Hayes? But I mean, since opening day, it's just been ground ball to second base, pop up on the infield, strikeout. I mean, it's just, he's not hitting for any power. I think he hit a double the other night, and that was his first extra base hit. And you're just not getting anything out of him right now. I mean, his defense has been okay. I mean, he had a couple ugly errors, but he's been fine. But I mean, he just looks completely lost at the plate. The swing is just not there at all. He's fishing. I mean, I'm really starting to get concerned with him. I was last year, but I also thought he was so banged up last year that was part of the problem. Well, he came into spring training, everybody raved about how good a shape he was in, and he's hitting worse than he's starting off worse this year than how he did last year. I think he's hitting like a $148 right now. And not that everybody else in the lineup is crushing the baseball, but
no, I hope that whatever he's batting, I think Marte could at least do that. And that's another thing, is he's just sitting in a spot with Marte doing good in spring training and another guy like Edwin Arroyo doing good in spring training.
Yeah.
And he's just taking at bats away from like a young guy who we could develop into a future third baseman for us.
Right. And the problem is, yes, they're paying him. So it's kind of like, what are we going to do if, I mean, what if they play Marte this weekend and Marte comes out and just, bops? I mean, what do you do with Candelario? Do you DH him and just try to see if he can figure it out without playing in the field? I don't think they can send him down. I mean, they can like phantom IL him for a while and then he can go on a rehab. It'll be interesting. I mean, it's just frustrating because I think there's some guys that I think this team is good. I do. I think this is a good baseball team, but they just cannot seem to put everything together because there's going to come a point where this pitching staff is going to go through their stretch where they struggle and the offense has to pick it up. You can't win baseball games scoring 1, 2, 3 runs in a game. You have to score runs. And I think health is number one, but number two is some of those guys in the middle of the lineup have to start hitting and start hitting for some power. I mean, we've got to see guys like Strand, Candelario, hopefully Hayes when he comes back, really start to drive the baseball, hit gaps, hit home runs. I think that'll come, but it's just been a really frustrating week just with this offense. But luckily the pitching staff, like I said, I mean, I just keep saying over and over again, it's just been absolute dynamite. I want to talk real quick, though, about Blake Dunn. I think Blake Dunn's been good. He's striking out a lot, but seems like he's coming up with some clutch base hits, and he's being asked to hit in the 2-hole. I think Espinal's hitting the 2-hole tonight, but, he's hitting in the 2-hole. He's doing things that I don't think we would have ever asked. We never thought we were going to ask him to do. I didn't even think he was going to make the roster out of spring training. So, he's one of the sole reasons, him and Hunter Green were the sole reasons they won on Monday, that big clutch 2-run double. So I like what Blake Dunn's doing. He's playing good defense and left. Just kind of wanted to shout him out a little bit. But I think this team's going to be fine. Just to kind of conclude it, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going through the rut right now. Hopefully Benson, Marte, and maybe we see a guy like Edwin Arroyo can kind of jumpstart this offense. You get A's. You get Hayes healthy, Stevenson healthy, McLean. I think this is a solid lineup. It's just about getting everybody on the field at the same time.
Yeah, it's also another thing with a whole new coaching staff. They're still figuring out as well as all the players. And a lot of people are questioning like Francona's decisions, like opening day, whatever. But no, I trust this guy to, he's going to learn about our team. He's going to know what to do with everybody once everybody gets back.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they're going to be fine. I think everybody needs to take a big, deep breath and just enjoy watching Reds baseball. They're going to be fine. This division's not very good. The Cubs are hot, but that's really only because Kyle Tucker's hitting like 1 million right now. But I think, the Cardinals are not going to be good. They're going to be bad. Their pitching staff is not good enough. They're not going to run Miles Michaelis out there every 5th day and expect to win baseball games. It's just not going to happen. I think the Cubs are probably the best team right now, obviously with their record, but I think they're the most complete team.
The Brewers are always going to be the Brewers.
But I think the Brewers are really going to because they're really struggling to find offense too. Like I said, William Contreras is not hitting. Yelich is not hitting.
Churrio's doing really well, but he's starting to pick it up. He started off really slow, but he's gone like a 10-game hit streak, I think. But other than that, not much. But your boy Sal Frelick is hitting.
Yeah, and I don't even want to talk about him. I think the Brewers are probably. I'm not going to say anything about them because every time I say they're going to be bad, they're always pretty good. So
the Pirates don't surprise, or they're not showing anything at all except for the 2 games a week Paul Skeens pitches. But
yeah, and Paul Skeens is kind of he's kind of getting hit around a couple times. I mean, he's doing fine. He's still Paul Skeens, but he's been kind of getting hit around. That pitching staff kind of scares me, but they don't really have a veteran presence in that rotation. They have Mitch Keller, but a lot of young arms. But they're going to be good. I mean, they're going to be good here in a couple of years. But I think the Reds have a chance to take the division because it is a weaker division. Once they start hitting and again, keep guys on the field and they will win baseball games, period. So that's kind of all I have to say about that. But we talked a lot of Reds baseball, and I think we're going to get into some baseball reference here in a second. But yeah, I think it's early. They're going to be fine. I don't really. You got anything else to add on that? But yeah, so that's gonna kind of do it for our Reds content today. But now we're gonna hop into baseball reference. It's been a while. I've been wanting to get back on the horse here. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and throw the first name at me. What is
We did a theme.
I was gonna say,
think
what's our theme today?
all these guys were drafted by the Reds, but never played for the Reds.
Yes, that's right. So all of these players were drafted by the Cincinnati Reds. Excuse me, but
There's a lot of
they
guys that we could have picked that have went on to have some good major league careers. So.
they did not appear in a game for the Reds. So they might have
for the Cincinnati Reds.
right.
Never.
They
played.
might have worked through their minor leagues with the Reds, played with Dayton or Chattanooga or whatever, but they never appeared in a baseball game for the Cincinnati Reds. So I'm gonna have to pull them up on here because I don't have the names in front. If you don't know how this works, in front of you, they give me a baseball reference name. Baseball reference is a website that shows all the statistics on each individual player, gives you the years they played, the teams, positions, stats, everything like that. I do not have a name in front of me. I just have exactly what you're seeing on your screen. It is in front of me. The lettering is kind of small, but it's okay. I'm going to look here. So, like, we've got a 2009 debut of Baltimore. I don't think it's going to zoom. It's fine. I can.
If you want to look on here, I got it zoomed in.
All right. So, we've got a longtime longtime Dodger here. So, this guy was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds and had a pretty long career.
And this is the only guy I know because I came up with this.
He's on the Cubs this year. Okay. Longtime Dodger, mostly third base. Okay, yeah. So right away we know who this guy is. Really good player. He actually played for the Dragons. I think the Dragons was all the farther he got until we traded him he released him or traded him to Baltimore. But this is Justin Turner.
That is correct.
Okay, so 1-for-1. All right. Pretty easy one there, but a good one to start with. Justin Turner's had a pretty long career. Guy I wish we would have kept around. We almost thought we were going to get him in the offseason this year. But moving on to number 2, we have a 2012 San Diego Padre, and he's a catcher. Okay. Padres, Dodgers, quick little bite to eat with Milwaukee and then Chicago for like 5 years. And now he was a Pittsburgh Pirate. Okay. Decent player, a lot of homers. Okay, made an all-star. Okay, yeah, I know who this guy is. We traded this guy for who did we trade? Oh, this guy was in the Matt Latos trade, actually. We traded him and Yonder Alonso for Matt Latos back in 2012. Ended up being a really, really good trade. Obviously, this guy's a good player, but this is Yasmani Grandal.
You're 2 for 2.
Right. This next guy's a little scary because he doesn't have many years played, and I'm a little concerned. All right, so we're 2 for 2. This one looks to be the hardest one. This is a pitcher. Not a very good pitcher. Reliever. No, starter, actually. He made an all-star game. So he was an all-star 2 years ago with the Washington Nationals. Okay. Gave up 38 home runs. Oh, boy. Okay, so this would have been like probably 2017 draft pick maybe. 2 teams in 2021. Oh, Dodgers and Nationals. It says it right there. So he's a Dodger debut guy. And then a Nationals pitcher. Still a young guy, so he's still in the league. He's getting rocked this year. So who's their starter?
I can tell you who he was traded for if you need a hint.
Hang on. So this guy, I know what trade he's in because you're saying trade and it's 2021. So this guy was probably in the Puig trade.
He was.
Yeah. Okay. So this guy was in. Oh, I know who this is. Yeah. This guy was in the Yasiel Puig trade when we traded Jeter Downs. We traded this guy. I know who he is now, but and we traded Homer Bailey to the Dodgers for.
I did not realize how much we got from this trade.
Alex Wood, Kyle Farmer, Yasiel Puig, and Matt Kemp.
Yep.
This is Josiah Gray.
3 for 3.
Josiah besides yeah. I always thought that he was going to be a guy we let get away, but to be honest, I mean, he has an all-star appearance, but I don't really think he's that good. I think every time the Reds face him, they seem to kind of take it to him pretty good. But all right, so a successful 3 for 3 in the baseball reference realm there. So it's good to get back onto that. It's good to be back on the show today. We want to thank everybody for watching and listening wherever you may do so. Going to be a lot of content coming out very soon. Let us know if you like the new intro that Matt Fry cooked up for us. He spent a little bit of time on that. We're going to have some different reels coming out very soon. Got some new TikToks, so make sure you check those out as we close today's episode. We want to thank everybody for watching. And make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. You'll see it right on your screen right about now. And we'll see you guys later. We're out.